If you're struggling to start the ball on line, like many golfers, it is your club face control at impact. Today's video is all going to be about the vital bit, the wrists at impact to control the club face better. If you want to play better golf, you need to know this. I see so many golfers making practice swings with no real awareness of where their club face is pointing. So they're making these lovely looking practice swings, but they've got the club face just miles open generally, aiming out right to target for a right-handed golfer. Now that's no good, so we've got to make sure we're aware of where this club face is pointing. And that's why I'm doing the drill here with the T-peg sticking out my glove, the back of my glove. I'm just trying to get awareness of my wrist positions so I've got more awareness of where the club is. Now, let's quickly talk through, and this might sound a technical area, but I'm going to try and make it as simple as I can, what the wrists are doing at impact. The lead wrist here has got to be going from flexion to extension. So it's moving in this manner, and the trail wrist is doing the opposite. It's moving from extension to flexion. So that has to happen, and that's helping me square the club face, okay? So you can see the club face is open. As I change my wrist position here, I'm starting to allow the toe to catch up with the heel as the club catches up with my hands. Now that's a great way to deliver the golf club when we add in some rotation, so we can get this starting to happen with our wrists, and we can add in some rotation, and that's fine. But you can see if I'm getting this to happen, I'm not going to have my hands forwards at impact, and that's the problem. Because when we're talking about an iron here that I've got in my hands, a mid-iron, we do want our hands forwards, ideally, to take a little bit of loft off the golf ball and to help us get that ball turf strike. So hitting down on the golf ball by the right amount, around 4 degrees or so, de-lofting the golf club by about 4 or 5 degrees. So that adds in a complication because the more I have my hands forwards, the more that club face is going to be open. So I'm going to have to work a little bit harder with my wrist position. So I'm almost going to have to try and get that T-peg to point a little bit more downwards. And that's what I'm feeling here in this practice move. I'm coming down to pre-impact, but I'm trying to get the sensation that I'm actually getting the T-peg pointing a little bit more down towards the golf ball. Can you see what that starts to do with my club face? So it's starting to get the club face to turn and point a little bit more down, okay? Now that means I can have my hands slightly forwards at impact. But if we've got that club face wide open, let's go extreme, okay? And I do see golfers here. So when we get the club face extremely open, if I have my handle forwards, the club face is going to be wide open. Often like these practice swings golfers are making where they've got no awareness of face. So thinking a little bit about the wrist positions, whether it's focusing on the lead wrist like you do here with the T-peg, or whether it's the trail wrist, it doesn't matter. It's going to have the same result. So when my lead hand points more down, what does my trail hand do? It almost goes a little bit more on top. So I'm feeling like my palm is facing more down, or my trail hand is a little bit more on top of my lead hand. Now, either of those could be a good feel. So this is really going to be relevant for any golfers who are struggling with pushes, fades, slices, leaving the face open. So right-handed golfers out right, left-handers too much to the left. And that is a very common fault. I want you just to make some practice swings with a little bit more awareness of almost trying to get the glove logo pointing a little bit more down towards the golf ball. Let's give that drill a go. Okay, it's pointing more down, the club face is turned more down. I can now get my hands a little bit more forwards into impact, and I'm starting to gain some club face control here. There is nothing wrong with this release pattern. The lead wrist going from flexion to extension to help square the face. Okay? But we're not going to get our hands very far forwards. Now, I do need to add some rotation into that, so let's do that again. And start to turn my body, and that's a good release position. But as I said, it adds in a complication when I'm trying to get my handle more forwards. And a lot of golfers are working on this. They're working on trying to create lag and get their hands ahead of the golf club. but they're not thinking about what that's doing to the club face position, making it wide open. So the fix is having to be a little bit more aware of what the wrists are doing into impact. So I can do that same little chippy exercise there, but all I did was try to get the feeling that my glove logo is pointing a little bit more down towards the ground. So let's put that into a fuller move. My practice swing, just aware of where that T-peg is pointing before I go ahead and hit one. In the actual move, it's happening too quick, but I'm feeling it in a practice swing. I think I pulled that just a little, but really got I did actually get a sensation. I was saying I wasn't going to think about it, but I got the sensation my glove was pointing a little bit more down towards the golf ball there, which is great for me. Helped me close that face a little bit earlier. If I was missing it left, I would just work on creating a little bit more rotation through the golf ball, almost turning more to the left. So awareness of the club face, awareness of the wrist angles at impact is vital, and is the big part I want you to take away from today's video. You can see where that T-peg is starting to point straight out in front of me. Now it's starting to point more down. So give it a go. Be aware, more thinking about where that wrist angle is, especially in your practice swings. Don't make these beautiful practice swings with no awareness of club face, because you're really not going to help yourself. Start thinking about where the wrists are pointing, where that club face is pointing, if you're struggling to control your start direction like many golfers are. If that video has helped, hit the thumbs up, share it with as many golfers as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. Right now, YouTube is suggesting the next video of mine that's relevant for you. It's just here, so I'd encourage you to click on it and check it out.